per month per thousand financed at 48 months. Not all buyers will qualify for KF America. Offer ends 9/2. See dealer for full details.
Live high school football, the Touchdown 7 Game of the Week, sponsored by Alta Fiber. Every Friday night, I'm Ron Otto.
And I'm Parker Testa. We'll be in your neighborhood covering the biggest games of the 2025 season. From Fairborn to Eaton and Huber Heights to Beaver Creek.
It all starts live with Todd's tailgate party at 5. Then we've got the kickoff for you at 7.
Every Friday night, the Touchdown 7 Game of the Week, sponsored by Alta Fiber on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
What is the WHIO Storm Center? It means when you hear these tones, you are just a few minutes away from emergency weather information. Weather is our number one priority. The Storm Center 7 forecast is always on the radio. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. And when News Center 7 is in wall-to-wall weather coverage mode, you'll always hear it simulcast on WHIO radio. That means you can take your radio to your safe spot and hear exactly what's happening with severe weather. When it comes to weather, we don't mess around.
I'm Ron Otto with My Sports Rundown, my opinion on the big stories in sports. High school football is back, and we are amped up to bring you all the action again this year. We're headed to at least 11 different high school stadiums, and you may ask, wait a minute, there are only 10 weeks to the regular season. Well, for the first time, we'll have doubleheader action for you. September 19th, we'll feature Miamisburg at Beaver Creek, followed by Minster at Coldwater. Week 8, October 10th, Monroe travels to Bellbrook and Northmont hosts Centerville. And the grand finale, a Week 10 doubleheader with Stebbins traveling to Xenia and Centerville going to Huber Heights to play Wayne. We'll feature one of the oldest rivalries in the state with Piqua at Troy, September 12th. And the back end of the schedule is especially solid with Ohio Heritage Conference rivals Greenon and Greenview facing off on October 17th. And don't forget about the playoffs. I can't wait to get it going. I'm Ron Otto, and that's my Sports Rundown.
Together with the resources of News Center 7, you're on Dayton's #1 news team. Now, back to Miami Valley's morning news on WHIO.
Good morning, I'm Larry Hansgen. We got high school football for you tonight. The Touchdown 7 Game of the Week as Tecumseh at Fairborn. Coverage begins with Todd's tailgate party at 5, kickoff 7 o'clock with Parker Testa and Ron Otto. 61 degrees, 639.
And that is 21 minutes here ahead of 7 o'clock. I'm Jeremy Ratliff. Well, attention, fellow fall weather lovers. This next cold front does us some good.
We'll be dropping into the 70s again Sunday, 78 degrees, 72 on Monday, 71 on Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, 72 degrees. Really, for the rest of this month and into the beginning of September, which September 1st is meteorological fall, we stay in the 70s. And in the mornings, we'll be in the 40s and 50s.
That is Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz. A Biden administration official testified before the House amid its investigation into former President Biden's use of the auto pen. Fox's Rich Edson is at the Capitol taking us in-depth on this story.
House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says Ian Sams, one of then-President Biden's fiercest defenders, told investigators he personally met with the commander-in-chief only twice in 2 years working at the White House.
If the White House spokesperson is being shielded from the President of the United States, who was operating the Oval Office?
Comer says Sams, who served as a spokesman for the White House counsel's office, told the committee he also had one virtual meeting and one phone call with President Biden. He described Biden as sharp during those interactions. The committee requested Sam's appearance in part to discuss his aggressive response to special counsel Robert Hur's report last year that Biden was a, quote, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory.
Yeah, House Republicans allege a group of aides covered up the former president's mental state and enacted their own agenda.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
And movie theaters across the country are offering big discounts tonight.
Date night at the movies, hosted by the Cinema Foundation, Cinema United, and Fandango. The National Movie-Going Holiday offers 2-for-1 deals at theaters. Cinema Foundation spokesperson Harry Medved told Fox News Radio.
2-for-1 deals on personal pizzas, nachos, sliders, sodas, candy, and popcorn. But one of my favorite deals is 2-for-1 cannolis. Take the cannoli from Synergy Entertainment.
Rom-coms like Steve Carell's The 40-Year-Old Virgin and Adam Sandler's The Wedding Singer return to the big screen alongside new releases Weapons and Honey Don't.
Well, Fox's Michelle Polino says you can check out more at themovies.com. for more info. WHIO News Time, 641.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast now with Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
50s and 60s this morning, hitting a high of 80 this afternoon as we gradually clear out to partly cloudy skies. 50s and 60s tomorrow morning, 82 tomorrow afternoon. A few more clouds rolling in with an approaching cold front. There may be a stray shower or drizzle late and into Sunday, but many of us remain dry. That cold front takes us down to 78 degrees on Sunday, 72 on Monday, 71 on Tuesday, with a lot of sunshine in the mornings. We're dropping down into the 40s.
Live Doppler 7 radar clears, 63 in Springfield, 61 in Englewood, and 61 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, buy 4 new tires and get 4 free oil changes, an additional $300 value. Make an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
An update with Jake Magnotta.
We have normal traffic flows everywhere this morning. We have really nice weather out there. It feels nice, dry roads, no rain, no fog. So that is setting us up for an easy commute to work or school. No crashes still. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
After a day off, the Reds are at Arizona tonight, heading into the weekend, trailing the Mets by just a half game in the race for the final wild card. And a dining mecca on road trips is getting a new look. That story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time is 6:43.
This is Dayton's only 24-hour local weather, traffic, and news station. We know that if you scan the dial in town, practically every other station just plays music. At WHIO, we've hired a full staff of news and traffic reporters, meteorologists, and talk show hosts, where it's our only job to provide information around the clock. WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
This is the legendary WHIO, the king of sports in Ohio. We've got the biggest sports teams and leagues on both radio and TV. This year, we're proud to be the home of NFL with Cincinnati Bengals football on Channel 7. The Southwest Ohio home of the Cleveland Browns on WHIO Radio. The biggest Big Ten games during the season every Saturday, including Ohio State football. The CBS NFL Game of the Week. The home of University of Dayton basketball and football. The Touchdown 7 high school football games of the week. The Dayton home of March Madness, the Masters, and PGA Championship. When it comes to the absolute biggest sports brands, WHIO Radio and Television is the king of Dayton sports. WHIO, Dayton's news, talk, and sports station. This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
All right, you're not going to believe this. New polling shows that 96% of us, 96% are targeted by scams every single week. I wonder how the other 4% are not, because I see scams coming in by text, by email, junk phone calls every single day now. And so this is happening because it works. The criminals are able to con us. We think, hey, we're savvy. This isn't going to happen to us. But know that we are being targeted so hard that I want you to be really careful. And the simplest thing to do, never answer your phone if you don't recognize who is calling. Never click on any link in a text or an email.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO. Breaking news all morning. The Storm Center 7 forecast to start your day and triple team traffic. Miami Valley's Morning News continues on WHIO.
6:45, I'm Larry Hansgen, 61 degrees in Dayton. Here are the big three things you need to know. Partly cloudy today with a high near 80. A New York appeals court judge throws out the massive fine from President Trump's fraud case. And our top story, no alcohol in the future for the Dark County Fair.
Yeah, and Larry, WHIO's Will Taylor continues our team coverage of this story.
This year, fairgoers had the opportunity to vote on a proposal that would have allowed alcohol sales at the fair, following a petition by a member of the Agriculture Association. The proposal included various restrictions and details regarding alcohol sales, Voting opened at 8 a.m. yesterday, and the turnout was significant, with lines stretching back to vendors who had never seen such a crowd.
The ban on alcohol has been in place since the fair's constitution was drafted way back in 1901. In November, some voters in Montgomery County will see a new levy on the ballot.
The Clergy Community Coalition tried multiple times to get the levy in front of voters. Now, Dayton City Commission blocked the group's request last month, but the coalition got enough signatures to push it forward. Officials say the levy could generate about $2 million a year for the next 10 years. This money would create a new hospital in Dayton. The Secretary of State will come up with ballot language.
That is News Center 7's Gabrielle Enright. Dayton City cops are reminding people to lock their cars.
Officers have responded to 22 thefts from unlocked vehicles between August 4th to the 18th. Cops say most of the items stolen were left in plain sight.
That is WHIO's Ron Auto reporting. You can see a map of where the thefts were reported at WHIO.com. Dr. James Dobson, the head of the Dobson Family Institute, has passed away.
Dobson died in Colorado Springs after suffering a brief illness, according to a social media post from his institute. He was 89.
That is Fox's Jessica Rosenthal reporting. A federal judge ordered a Florida detention center nicknamed Alligator Alcatraz to stop expanding its facilities and to stop bringing in more detainees so that the ICE facility can close in 60 days. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis claims that while there's another center being built,
there's enough demand to fill both of those facilities, and so it's not going to just substitute for Alligator Alcatraz while this litigation is going on. I mean, we really need both.
Yeah, the governor had announced the new facility nicknamed Deportation Depot earlier this month. Environmental groups had filed a lawsuit arguing the detention center threatened the Everglades and wildlife in the area. Cracker Barrel restaurants get a modern makeover, but the chain is now getting a backlash after dropping the man in the barrel from their logo.
A lot of people apparently told the company things are getting kind of shabby in here. So, still the memorabilia on the walls, but they're white walls. Fireplace still is there. And a lot of people said, no, we don't like that.
That is Fox Business's Jeff Flock. The company says they are simply trying to give people a nicer and brighter place to enjoy their food. Here's a bizarre one for you from out west. A Colorado Parks Ranger is accused of staging a fake stabbing.
A park ranger at Stanton, Colorado State Park radioed for help Tuesday, claiming that he had been attacked and stabbed, and gave a detailed description of the suspect. 26-year-old Callum Heskett then said the suspect ran off. A large police response ensued. Several schools and nearby residents were locked down, but investigators say Heskett's story wasn't adding up. Heskett is now facing multiple misdemeanor and felony charges connected to what appears to be an elaborate hoax.
That is Fox's Chris DeMeo reporting. WHIO News Time, 6:49.
This is Miami Valley's Morning News. I'm Larry Hansgen, and we have a look at Dayton Radio's only 5-day extended forecast now with Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz.
A few clouds this morning will break later into the afternoon. We'll call it partly cloudy, hit a high of 80. 64 degrees tomorrow morning in the metro, but the surrounding areas in the 50s. Hitting a high of 82 Saturday afternoon with increasing clouds. A shower possible late and into Sunday with a little drizzle. Otherwise, many dry with the cold front that's going to move through. That's pretty much just cloud cover, taking us to 78 degrees on Sunday, 72 on Monday, 71 degrees on Tuesday. Low temperatures down into the 40s and 50s.
Well, our live Doppler 7 radar is clear. We've got 63 in Springfield, 57 in Greenville, 61 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Expert brake repair you can trust. Make sure you can stop when you need to the most. Get a little peace of mind by making an appointment today with your trusted brake repair experts at GrismerTire.com.
A live update with Jake Magnato.
Already some slow traffic starting to build through the Beaver Creek construction area, 35 west approaching 675. But other than that, we are still dealing with a normal Friday morning drive. There are no weather issues and no major problems to pass along to you. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnato, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Now, Wyatt Reifsnyder had a fumble, scoop, and score with 32 seconds to play, giving Alder a 28-21 win over Fairmont in the opening night of high school football as the Knights end a 5-year losing streak versus the Firebirds. Well, tonight, our Touchdown 7 game of the week has Tecumseh at Fairborn. Coverage begins with Todd's Tailgate Party at 5, and then Parker Test and Ron Otto have the call with a kickoff tonight at 7 o'clock. And still to come, well, when it comes to breakfast, we're going to make a decision. we're not going to waffle. That story we'll discuss in 3 minutes. WHIO News Time, 6:51.
A lot of weird stuff happens around here overnight. That's why we feature Dayton's only all-news morning show. Catch up and know what's going on every morning. Miami Valley's morning news is on WHIO. WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on the WHIO Weekend Preview with what's happening around the Miami Valley. Here's Chris Hartley.
What's up, Miami Valley? Here's what's happening. Taco and Nacho Fest is happening on Saturday down at Austin Landing. Lots of nacho-type food, music, kids' activities, and fireworks. The fun begins Saturday at 3. It's going to run through 10. The Lebanese Festival, that's going on this weekend on Nut Road. That's in Washington Township. Traditional Lebanese food, beer, music, dance, rides for kids, and more. Friday, 5 to 9, Saturday, 11 to 9, and Saturday, 11 to 6. The Egyptian Music Festival, that's going on this weekend out in Miamisburg. This is the 26th year for the festival. Bounce houses, food, music, shopping, and more. Friday 5 to 9, Saturday 10 to 10, and Sunday 10 to 5. The Bellbrook Lions Club Summerfest, that's happening this weekend at the Bellbrook Lions Club. Carnival rides, games, food, live entertainment, and lots of fun. Friday 5 to 11 and Saturday 4 to 11. And movies top of the box office this weekend include Weapons, Freakier Friday, and Nobody 2. With your WHIO Weekend Preview, I'm Chris Hartley.
For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto. August 17th, 1998, President Bill Clinton admits to a relationship with Monica Lewinsky.
While my answers were legally accurate, I did not volunteer information. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
August 18th, 1956, Elvis Presley's Hound Dog and Don't Be Cruel hits number 1. August 19th, 1871, the younger of the Wright brothers, Orville Wright, is born. August 22nd, 565, St. Columbia reports a monster in Loch Ness. August 23rd, 1876, Darke County's Annie Oakley marries traveling show marksman Frank Butler.
The prisoner wishes to say a word.
And August 23rd, 1305, William Wallace is executed. For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto.
Now is the perfect time to start a rewarding career. The IRS is holding an in-person hiring event on August 25th and 26th in Covington, Kentucky for entry-level customer service positions. To register, visit jobs.irs.gov/events. We provide comprehensive training and no tax experience is required. At the event, qualified applicants will receive job offers on the spot. Remember, that's jobs.irs.gov/events.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
The area's only all-news and talk radio station. That means we're talking about what you're talking about. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
Good morning, I'm Larry Hansgen. Another mild day today, although slightly warmer, as we could see 80 for a high this afternoon. But right now, 61 degrees at 6:55. Well, a new survey by Choice Hotels International. And if you hear what this survey is about, you're going to guess that they have free breakfast in the morning. The new survey by Choice Hotels International reveals 57% of people associate waffles with cozy, relaxing mornings. 41% of them prefer the crispy waffles. The rest offer the softer, fluffier bite. Most people prefer the full-size waffles over mini ones. So when it comes to call it, for lack of a better term, a breakfast sweet. Jeremy, are you a pancake, waffle, or a French toast guy?
So this is going to ruin all the fun. I love all three.
That doesn't ruin it.
Probably equally, though. Like, literally, there's certain days where it's like, you know what, I could go for a waffle, or I could go for a pancake, or, man, I'm really craving French toast. and not really that picky on any of the three either. It just it hits the spot when you need them.
No, you're not upsetting me by saying that. Okay, Will, what about you?
I would probably have to say pancakes. Yeah. I hate to do it to the other two because they're all so good, but there's a clear-cut winner for me.
It's kind of like asking a parent, who's your favorite child?
Well said.
Although it's my oldest by far. She's completely financially independent. To me, that's just adorable. So yeah, I have a favorite. I absolutely have a favorite. She would, but I would have an easier time naming a favorite child than I would what you just said, Will. Pick between waffles, French toast, and I guess. Okay, if you're ordering out, not cooking at home, because if it's cooking at home, I would go with French toast. But if I'm going out, I think then I'd say, okay, make me a waffle and bring it to me now. It's kind of I'm not going to get a waffle iron out at home and go through all the mess.
Yeah.
And Eggos in the toaster doesn't count. That's not a waffle.
Well, and
that's kind of like that'd be like calling SpaghettiOs pasta, right, Jeremy?
Maybe.
Oh no.
So do you have like a go-to? Will, Cracker Barrel's in the news, of course, because they're redoing things, and I will put my foot down if they don't have the little golf tee game on the table.
Oh yes,
and if they don't have that little bottle of syrup come out with the pancakes. If that goes away,
we'll have some problems.
Yeah, we'll have some problems. All right, listen, our top story today. A tradition is going to continue at one of the most popular local county fairs. It's 6:58.
This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
This year has been the toughest year for young people graduating from high school or junior college or traditional four-year college to find a job in their chosen field we've had since 2009. It's a brutal time right now for people without a lot of work experience, but new skills that they learned in school. So what should somebody do who's in college or high school or community college right now? The most important thing is get whatever work you can while you're in school in your chosen field of study. People who graduate with some work experience and what they want to do have a much easier time finding a job once you finish your education than those who don't have that work experience.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Now is the perfect time to start a rewarding career. The IRS is holding an in-person hiring event on August 25th and 26th in Covington, Kentucky for entry-level customer service positions. To register, visit jobs.irs.gov/events. We provide comprehensive training and no tax experience is required. At the event, qualified applicants will receive job offers on the spot. Remember, that's jobs.irs.gov/events.
Find your next adventure with a brand new Kia from King's Kia. Right now, get 0% APR financing for 48 months on new 2025 Kia Sorento models. Visit kingskia.com to experience the difference of Kia and to see all of our inventory today. 0% APR financing for 48 months on new 2025 Kia Sorento models. $20.83 per month per thousand financed at 48 months. Not all buyers will qualify for Kia Finance America. Offer ends 9/2. See dealer for full details.
This is the station Dayton turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. WHIO Dayton Springfield, celebrating 90 years of being Dayton's news and talk station. Depend on it.
Good morning. It's 7 o'clock. I'm Larry Hansgen. Welcome to Miami Valley's Morning News. We are live on Friday, August 22nd, 61 degrees in Dayton. Here are the big three things you need to know. Partly cloudy today, a high near 80. California Democrats respond to redistricting in Texas with a plan of their own. And our top local story, a resounding no. A large voter turnout makes their voices heard. And now we know there will not be alcohol at the Clark County Fair after not being allowed there for more than 100 years.
That's right, Larry. The decision was made by voters yesterday in a near-record turnout. News Center 7's Mason Fletcher spoke with the president of the Dark County Ag Association.
There's a lot going on between the rides, games, and food at the Dark County Fair, but one thing you won't see is alcohol. The fair has been around since the 1850s, but that's been a rule since the fair drafted its constitution in 1901.
It was our constitution said that there would be no alcohol in the grounds, so it's been that way ever since.
But this year, fairgoers had a chance to change that because a member of the Agriculture Association petitioned for it.
There was restrictions and there was a lot of details to it, but it would allow alcohol sales on the grounds.
Yeah, she told Mason that voting opened at 8 yesterday morning.
But outside, it was quite the line.
At its peak, around 6 p.m., this line stretched all the way down to the vendor with the picture of the corn dog.
It was back to vendors that have never seen a line like that backed up from the voting booths. So it was exciting, though, because the way we look at it is it's their voice.
Yeah, if we get any new info on this local story or reaction, we're going to bring it to you right here on your hometown station, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
The sun's trying to make a comeback here in the Miami Valley. I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz. I'll let you know how long that sunshine will last and how it will impact your temperature.
Right now, I'm not seeing any accidents or delays for the morning drive. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
I'm Larry Hansgen, and this is Miami Valley's Morning News.
And I'm Jeremy Ratliff. Well, Larry, breaking from overnight, officers investigating a shooting in a Dayton neighborhood.
Dayton police officers responded to Goddard Avenue on reports of a shooting. Upon arrival, officers found a 22-year-old man with multiple gunshot wounds. Medics transported the victim to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Dayton Police's Violent Offender Unit is investigating the shooting.
That is WHIO's Benjamin Fridkiss. As you head out the door this morning, get ready to enjoy some cooler temps.
The wind has died back, and that has allowed us to drop a little bit in temperature. The stronger the wind through the overnight hours typically allows us to stay just a tad warmer, but now we're about 5 miles per hour with winds out of the north and west. Switch the wind direction, too, so that helps. It's not drawing a lot of moisture off of the lakes, so we're allowed to clear out a little bit more so today. We still have a few clouds hanging around. If you look closely, you can kind of see that lighter gray over top of us, but that will eventually break. We'll see some sunshine. We'll call it partly cloudy at times through the afternoon.
That is Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz. California voters will decide in a November special election whether to approve a redrawn congressional map designed to help Democrats win 5 more U.S. House seats next year.
Lawmakers voted mostly along party lines to approve legislation calling for the special election. Governor Gavin Newsom then signed it. Republicans have sued and called for a federal investigation into the plan. California currently relies on an independent commission that's supposed to be nonpartisan to draw maps. Voters' permission is needed to implement the new one.
That is WHIO's Rich Jones. The special election is a response by Democrats to Texas Republicans' push to redraw their state's congressional map at President Trump's urging. You may have seen the push alerts from your WHIO app yesterday. Villanova University's president says reports of an active shooter were just a cruel hoax. Fox's Kevin Cork explains.
It was actually a report of an active shooter. It sparked pandemonium right during new student move-in on campus. Students, many visitors and their families, trying to help their children get settled. Well, they were directed to shelter in place following what turned out to be a gross false alarm. In fact, that was sparked by a 911 call claiming that there was an active shooter and at least one deceased victim. Again, in fact, there were several false alarms called in around the area, including one to the King of Prussia Mall, which is about 5 minutes away from campus.
Yeah, students instructed by law enforcement to remain sheltered in place until they were contacted. And the AP says a man accused of throwing a sex toy at a WNBA game in New York earlier this month is from Dayton.
Charles Burgess was arrested Wednesday after cops say he threw the sex toy at the Dallas Wings New York Liberty game on August 5th. The object hit a 12-year-old girl, and Burgess is now being charged with 2 counts of assault. At least 3 arrests have been made in a string of disturbances where similar toys were tossed at WNBA games across the country.
That is WHIO's Ron Otto reporting. WHIO News Time, 7:05.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News as we are getting ready for Flyer football season. Dayton will begin next week with a visit to Eastern Illinois Thursday night. Now, preseason All-PFL running back Mason Hackett says his junior class that came in with head coach Trevor Andrews and offensive coordinator Greg Whalen is clicking.
We've been in the playbook for 3 years under Coach Whalen, so I feel like we know the offense well, we know the scheme, we know our goals and everything we have to do to succeed on the field. So I think that's just the biggest thing is that we're way more familiar with the playbook now.
So UD at Eastern Illinois is Thursday, August 28th. The kickoff is at 7 o'clock. And join Mike Kelly and me for all the action beginning of the Bud Light pregame show at 6:30 right here on the home of the Flyers. Still to come, did a wrestling icon die due to some type of medical malfeasance? We've got that story coming up in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time, 7:06.
WHIO has just won several Associated Press and Edward R. Murrow News Awards, including Best Radio Newscast. We don't do it for awards. We do it for you. Thanks. From WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
Are you tired of dealing with the same health problems like headaches and back pain and still only utilizing a Band-Aid to cover up the symptoms? Then tune into Living the Full Life, where Dr. Juan explains how to get to the root cause of the problem and fix it. Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on WHIO Radio.
Hey there. We're My USA Credit Union. We're the simple, go-all-in, slightly quirky cooperative, can-do place to bank. We're for those building toward the future, creating the life of your dreams. We'll always tell it to you straight and help guide you through each step of life's journey. When you join My USA, you've got a best financial friend for life. We're always rooting for you, like a best friend should. MyUSACU.com. This institution is not federally insured, but ASI insured and equal opportunity lender. Contact the credit union for complete details.
Elevate your kitchen or bathroom with breathtaking countertops from Stone Center of Dayton. Explore our large indoor inventory of granite and quartz, and now featuring a large selection of quartzites. We're locally owned and operated and offer in-house design help. Visit us at stonecenterofdayton.com.
This is a Consumer Warrior Clark Howard Minute.
There's a war going on right now over your and my wallet. It's when we're offered a trial offer to something, or we sign up for something. It could be a streaming service, who knows what. The problem, they make it really easy for you and me to sign up. They make it nearly impossible for you and me to cancel. It's absolutely terrible. And there was a new federal rule that was just about to go into effect that would make it as easy to cancel as it was to sign up, and it was just outlawed by a court. So it's not going to happen. So businesses we do business with can still play dirty pool with us. So what I want you to do is use your calendar as your friend and know how you cancel something. You sign up for a trial, know how to cancel it. There are also some things you can do with one-time use credit card numbers so that even when the trial offer is over, they can't charge it to you because they don't know your real number.
Clark is WHIO's Consumer Warrior, and you can hear him during Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO. Something. Dayton's only all-local news radio station. The power of WHIO Radio and News Center 7 means you'll know first. This is Miami Valley's Morning News on WHIO.
Good morning, I'm Larry Hansgen. It starts this coming Monday, August 25th, the WHIO Payroll Payout Contest. It's a chance for you to win $1,000 5 times every weekday. Get ready, just download our free WHIO app. 61 degrees now, 7:09.
And that is 9 minutes after 7 o'clock. I'm Jeremy Ratliff. Nearly a month after he died, police continue to look into the death of Hulk Hogan. Fox's Lisa Lacera reports.
The medical examiner ruled Hulk Hogan died of a heart attack. The Clearwater, Florida Police Department saying in a statement, the unique nature of the case has required us to interview multiple witnesses and to seek medical records from a variety of providers. Hogan died July 24th at age 71 after he was rushed to a hospital following a 911 call. The call and police body cam video have not yet been released. Police previously said there was no evidence of foul play, so it's not clear what they're investigating other than medical records. The medical examiner said he had leukemia and atrial fibrillation, concluding the cause of death was natural.
Now, earlier this month, his daughter Brooke said on Instagram that his cremation was postponed because of family questions. In Butler County, over 30 people were arrested after a law enforcement operation at a local nightclub.
This took place August 16th at the Sabor Peruano nightclub on Dixie Highway. The operation was linked to recent violence at the club. ICE became involved when it was discovered that most of the individuals were in the country illegally. 34 illegal immigrants were arrested. All are in the Butler County Jail pending further action by immigration authorities.
That is WHIO's Parker Testa reporting.
This is WHIO Continuing News.
As the Trump administration is deploying military assets to South America amid its effort to curb the flow of drugs into the U.S., blaming the Venezuelan state and gangs. Fox's Griff Jenkins reports for us this morning.
The Trump administration is escalating its crackdown on cartels, deploying 3 U.S. Navy guided missile destroyers to the region with 4,000 Marines and sailors. In response, Maduro has mobilized 4.5 million militia troops. The standoff has a long history. Former Presidents Obama and Biden opposed the Maduro regime. In 2019, under the first Trump administration, the U.S. government stopped recognizing Maduro as Venezuela's legitimate president. In 2020, the Justice Department indicted Maduro and his top lieutenants on charges of narco-terrorism and cocaine trafficking.
The Trump administration also increasing the reward for information leading to Maduro's arrest to $50 million. WHIO News Time is 7:11.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News. To take a look now at our 5-day forecast, we hear from Storm Center 7 meteorologist Brittany Ritz.
50s and 60s this morning, hitting a high of 80 this afternoon as we gradually clear out to partly cloudy skies. 50s and 60s tomorrow morning, 82 tomorrow afternoon. A few more clouds rolling in with an approaching cold front. There may be a stray shower or drizzle late and into Sunday, but many of us remain dry. That cold front takes us down to 78 degrees on Sunday, 72 on Monday, 71 on Tuesday, with a lot of sunshine in the mornings. We're dropping down into the 40s.
Our live Doppler 7 radar clear, 62 in Springfield, 61 in Kettering, and 61 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Is your car's AC acting up? Keep cool this summer by visiting your trusted automotive air conditioning repair experts. Breathe a little easier by making an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
Here's an update with Jake Magnata.
Very slow in 2 areas right now, and both appear to be due to construction. First one southbound Route 4 near Stanley Avenue. That's before you get to I-75 in Dayton. The other areas in Beaver Creek on 35 West. We only have that 1 lane open between North Fairfield and 675, so a little slow for you through here. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnata, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Yeah, the Dayton Dragons are on a roll. First time this season. They've got a 4-game winning streak, beating Peoria 2-1 in 10 innings. The series continues tonight at Day Air Ballpark. The Reds are at Arizona tonight, heading into the weekend, trailing the Mets by just a half game in the race for the final wild card. And a high-profile convicted murderer denied parole. That story in 2 minutes. WHIO News Time, 7:13.
At WHIO, we have a really unique and special morning news show. It's called Miami Valley's Morning News. You always get the latest forecast and traffic updates every 10 minutes. Plus, the news from overnight you might not have heard about. We think it should be your first place to check in each day to hear about the stories that everyone's talking about. Would you give us a try tomorrow? 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. Dayton's News and Talk. Depend on it.
I'm Ron Otto with My Sports Rundown. My opinion on the big stories in sports. High school football is back, and we are amped up to bring you all the action again this year. We're headed to at least 11 different high school stadiums, and you may ask, wait a minute, there are only 10 weeks to the regular season. Well, for the first time, we'll have doubleheader action for you. September 19th, we'll feature Miamisburg at Beaver Creek, followed by Minster at Coldwater. Week 8, October 10th, Monroe travels to Bellbrook and Northmont hosts Centerville. And the grand finale, a Week 10 doubleheader with Stebbins traveling to Xenia and Centerville going to Huber Heights to play Wayne. We'll feature one of the oldest rivalries in the state with Piqua at Troy, September 12th. And the back end of the schedule is especially solid, with Ohio Heritage Conference rivals Greenon and Greenview facing off on October 17th. And don't forget about the playoffs. I can't wait to get it going. I'm Ron Otto, and that's my Sports Rundown.
What is the WHIO Storm Center? It means when you hear these tones, you are just a few minutes away from emergency weather information. Weather is our #1 priority. The Storm Center 7 forecast is always on the radio. 1290 and 95.7 WHIO. And when News Center 7 is in wall-to-wall weather coverage mode, you'll always hear it simulcast on WHIO radio. That means you can take your radio to your safe spot and hear exactly what's happening with severe weather. When it comes to weather, we don't mess around.
Now is the perfect time to start a rewarding career. The IRS is holding an in-person hiring event on August 25th and 26th in Covington, Kentucky for entry-level customer service positions. To register, visit jobs.irs.gov/events. We provide comprehensive training and no tax experience is required. At the event, qualified applicants will receive job offers on the spot. Remember, that's jobs.irs.gov/events.
Good morning, Dayton. You're waking up with the information you need to start the day. Miami Valley's morning news continues on WHIO.
7:16, I'm Larry Hanskin, 61 degrees in Dayton. Here are the big three things you need to know. Partly cloudy today, a high near 80. Now, Dayton man facing assault charges for throwing a sex toy on the court at a WNBA game in New York. In our top story, Darke County voters say no to alcohol at the fair.
That's right, Larry. After more than 100 years of being alcohol-free, the Darke County Fair is going to remain that way. The fair announcing the results of a vote by fairgoers just an hour after polls closed.
The results of the constitutional amendment regarding the alcohol sales, the yes votes were 215. The no votes were 608.
Now, the ban on alcohol has been in place since the fair's constitution was drafted in 1901. This year, fairgoers had the opportunity to vote on a proposal that would have allowed alcohol sales at the fair, following a petition by a member of the Agriculture Association. And the proposal included various restrictions and details regarding alcohol sales. At a Moraine, 4 people were hurt after a crash involving a school van yesterday there.
It happened when a sedan failed to yield to the Valley View School's transportation van at the intersection of South Union Road and State Route 4. 2 people in the van, one of them a student, were hurt, along with 2 people in the sedan.
That is WHIO's Parker Testa. Police say none of the injuries were life-threatening. Well, we have more details on an intern who died at the Cincinnati Open tennis event in Mason.
The coroner's office says 21-year-old Joshua Darst died of head trauma, and they are listing his death as an accident. Darst fell off a cart near the facility's loading dock late Monday night.
That is WHIO's Ron Otto reporting. The Lakota Family YMCA says Darst was a longtime lifeguard and had recently began teaching kids how to swim there. Eric Menendez denied parole. He's one of the 2 brothers convicted in that famous 1989 shotgun killing of their parents in Beverly Hills. Fox's Jill Nato reports.
The California Board of Parole hearings says Eric Menendez has to wait 3 more years before he gets another chance to make his case to them. Parole Commissioner Robert Barton said, "We find that you continue to pose an unreasonable risk to public safety." He said that he was concerned that Menendez admitted to killing his mother, even though she was apparently a victim of domestic violence, just like he and his brother Lyle said they were. Barton told Menendez he was not a model prisoner, listing his prison violations, including inappropriate behavior with visitors, drug smuggling, and helping other inmates commit tax fraud.
Yeah, Lyle Menendez expected to go before the parole board today. WHIO News Time is 7:19.
I'm Larry Hanskin. This is Miami Valley's Morning News. Thanks for joining us. Let's get you ready for the weekend and beyond weather-wise with our 5-day extended forecast now with Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz.
A few clouds this morning will break later into the afternoon. We'll call it partly cloudy, hit a high of 80. 64 degrees tomorrow morning in the metro, but the surrounding areas in the 50s. Hitting a high of 82 Saturday afternoon with increasing clouds. A shower possible late and into Sunday with a little drizzle. Otherwise, many dry with the cold front that's going to move through. That's pretty much just cloud cover, taking us to 78 degrees on Sunday. 72 on Monday, 71 degrees on Tuesday. Low temperatures down into the 40s and 50s.
Our live Doppler 7 radar clear, 62 in Springfield, 58 in Troy, 61 at Dayton Severe Weather Station.
This traffic report is sponsored by Grismer Tire and Auto Service. Refresh your ride with brand new tires at unbeatable prices. Plus, buy 4 new tires and get 4 free oil changes, an additional $300 value. Make an appointment today at GrismerTire.com.
A live update with Jake Magnato.
Larry, I mentioned that I was seeing slow traffic in the construction area on southbound Route 4 in my last report. Actually, it looks like we have a crash being reported here. So southbound Route 4 near Stanley Avenue. It's just before you get to I-75 in Dayton. I'm looking at the camera. Looks like almost completely stopped. I see us moving, but a little bit of a delay right now. Also, 35 West is slowing down because of that lane restriction due to construction in Beaver Creek just past North Fairfield Road. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnotta, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
Still to come on Miami Valley's Morning News, a green light for some massive cuts at the National Institute of Health, what that will mean, and our in-depth impact story. Coming up in 3 minutes, WHIO News Time, 7:21.
I'm Parker Testa with the University of Dayton Sports Update. Dayton Volleyball is selected 24th in the preseason American Volleyball Coaches Association poll. The Flyers are coming off a 31-3 season and a trip to the NCAA Regionals.
Into the end zone, touchdown Dayton.
Dayton football kicks off their season Thursday, August 28th at Eastern Illinois. Kickoff time is 7 p.m. The Flyers posted a 6-5 record on the gridiron last season.
Back to Bennett, left corner for three. It's good!
Dayton basketball has a few more pieces to their schedule. The Flyers will play Penn State in an exhibition game benefiting mental health and suicide prevention Sunday, October 19th at 2 o'clock. And they'll take on Georgetown in the ESPN Events Invitational. That game will be following your Thanksgiving dinner on November 27th. Tip-off is at 7:30 p.m. I'm Parker Testa with your University of Dayton Sports Update on 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Nothing is more frustrating than sitting on 75 in traffic and not knowing what's going on. Your phone, not so helpful. That's why we're the home of Triple Team Traffic. Every 10 minutes, WHIO is Dayton's news and talk. Depend on it.
Now is the perfect time to start a rewarding career. The IRS is holding an in-person hiring event on August 25th and 26th in Covington, Kentucky for entry-level customer service positions. To register, visit jobs.irs.gov/events. We provide comprehensive training and no tax experience is required. At the event, qualified applicants will receive job offers on the spot. Remember, that's jobs.irs.gov/events.
Unlock the true potential of your ride with Big Papa's Car Audio, located at 6705 Montgomery Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45236. We specialize in upgrading your vehicle with customized sound systems, wheels, tires, wraps, and remote starters. Transform your drive and make every journey unforgettable. Ready to elevate your car style and performance? Visit the location or call us at 513-561-5300 to book your appointment today. Big Papa's Audio, where your vehicle's upgrade dreams come true.
At Grand Canyon University, we believe in equal opportunity, and the American dream starts with purpose. By honoring your sacred vocation of nursing, you impact your family, your friends, and your community. GCU's RN to BSN online degree program allows you the freedom to balance online coursework with practicum hours while helping you achieve your goals and serve others. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Together with the resources voices of News Center 7. You're on Dayton's #1 news team. Now, back to Miami Valley's morning news on WHIO.
Good morning, I'm Larry Hansgen. Men's Health says NYU researchers have discovered a way to reverse gray hair. They say gray hair occurs when melanocyte stem cells get stuck. The study suggests that by helping the stuck cells move, gray hair could be reversed or prevented. Well, the next step, researchers need to find a method to get the cells unstuck. 61 degrees now. It's 7:25.
And that's 25 minutes after 7 o'clock. I'm Jeremy Ratliff. Well, we got a little taste of fall here in the Miami Valley.
Our typical high this time of year is around 85 degrees. We've had a couple cold fronts run through, but this next one does us some good for us fall weather lovers. You'll need the sweatshirt, and maybe we could start up a few bonfires later into the evening and relax.
That is Storm Center 7's meteorologist Brittany Ritz. Here is a WHIO impact story, which means we take you in depth on a major story every hour. A Supreme Court allowing the Trump administration to cut $783 million worth of research funding for the National Institutes of Health.
In an effort to get NIH on board with President Trump's priorities, the administration wants to cut funding to DEI-linked research grants. A lower court blocked the cuts, but a 5-4 majority on the high court lifted that order. However, the Supreme Court did decide to keep Trump administration guidance on future funding blocked. Chief Justice John Roberts sided with the court's 3 liberals and would have kept those cuts blocked. The plaintiffs argued the cuts will inflict losses in public health and human life. The DOJ said funding decisions should not be subject to judicial second-guessing.
This is Fox's Jill Nato reporting from Washington.
This is WHIO continuing news.
And happening today, a formal leadership vote for the Republican National Committee in its summer meeting in Georgia.
The RNC's summer meeting happening in Atlanta, where Florida State Senator Joe Gruters, the current RNC treasurer, is running unopposed to become the next leader of the Republican National Committee, as current chair Michael Whatley steps down to run for North Carolina's open U.S. Senate seat, currently held by retiring Republican Senator Tom Tillis.
That is Fox's Jeff Manasso reporting. WHIO News Time, 7:27.
I'm Larry Hansgen. This is Miami Valley's Morning News. It's here. TGIF. Friday's upon us. Get through one more workday, and now there's lots to do. Enjoy your weekend. To help you out, let's find out what's happening.
The WHIO Weekend Preview with what's happening around the Miami Valley. Here's Chris Hartley.
The Clifton Gorge Music Festival is happening this weekend over at the Clifton Opera House. That's in Clifton. This is a 2-day music festival celebrating local musicians and artisans. They got face painting, crafts, food, music, beer, and more. Today, 4 to 11, and tomorrow, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Egyptian Festival, that's going on this weekend in Miamisburg. This is the 26th year for the festival. They got bounce houses, food, music, shopping, and more. Tonight, 5 to 9, tomorrow, 10 to 10, and Sunday, 10 to 5. The Bellbrook Lions Club Summer Fest, that's going on this weekend in Bellbrook. Carnival rides, games, food, live entertainment, all kinds of stuff. Tonight, 5 to 11, and tomorrow, 4 to 11. And the Lebanese Festival's going on this weekend. That's on Nut Road in Washington Township. Traditional Lebanese food, beer, music, dance, rides for the kids, and a whole lot more. Tonight, 5 to 9, tomorrow, 11 to 9, and Sunday, 11 to 6. Getting you out into the Miami Valley, I'm Chris Hartley, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO, Dayton's News and Talk.
For this week in history, I'm Ron Otto. August 17th, 1998, President Bill Clinton admits to a relationship with Monica Lewinsky.
While my answers were legally accurate, I did not volunteer information. Indeed, I did have a relationship with Miss Lewinsky that was not appropriate. In fact, it was wrong.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog.
August 18th, 1956, Elvis Presley's Hound Dog and Don't Be Cruel hits #1. August 19th, 1871, the younger of the Wright brothers, Orville Wright, is born. August 22nd, 565, St. Columbia reports a monster in Loch Ness. August 23rd, 1876, Darke County's Annie Oakley marries traveling show marksman Frank Butler.
The prisoner wishes to say a word.
And August 23rd, 1305, William Wallace is executed. For This Week in History, I'm Ron Otto.
The WHIO Weekend Preview with what's happening around the Miami Valley. Here's Chris Hartley.
What's up, Miami Valley? Here's what's happening. Taco and Nacho Fest is happening on Saturday down at Austin Landing. Lots of nacho-type food, music, kids' activities, and fireworks. The fun begins Saturday at 3. It's going to run through 10. The Lebanese Festival, that's going on this weekend on Nut Road. That's in Washington Township. Traditional Lebanese food, beer, music, dance, rides for kids, and more. Friday, 5 to 9, Saturday, 11 to 9, and Saturday, 11 to 6. The Egyptian Music Festival, that's going on this weekend out in Miamisburg. This is the 26th year for the festival. Bounce houses, food, music, shopping, and more. Friday 5 to 9, Saturday 10 to 10, and Sunday 10 to 5. The Bellbrook Lions Club Summerfest, that's happening this weekend at the Bellbrook Lions Club. Carnival rides, games, food, live entertainment, and lots of fun. Friday 5 to 11 and Saturday 4 to 11. And movies top of the box office this weekend include Weapons, Freakier Friday, and Nobody 2. With your WHIO weekend preview, I'm Chris Hartley.
This is the station Dayton turns to first for live team coverage of breaking news. WHIO Dayton Springfield, celebrating 90 years of being Dayton's news and talk station. Depend on it.
Good morning. It's 7:30. I'm Larry Hansgen, and welcome to Miami Valley's Morning News. We are live on Friday, August 22nd, 61 degrees in Dayton, and here are the big three things you need to know. Partly cloudy today, a high near 80. Cracker Barrel facing backlash over its logo change. And our top local story, after a significant voter turnout yesterday to make their voices heard, there'll be continued to be no booze allowed at a local fair.
And Larry, voters in Darke County have decided to maintain the long-standing ban on alcohol at the Darke County Fair following a vote held yesterday. WHIO's Rich Jones begins our team coverage.
The decision to keep the fair alcohol-free was made during an election that saw near-record turnout, with many fairgoers participating in the vote. The ban on alcohol has been in place since the fair's constitution was drafted in 1901.
Yeah, and there was quite a turnout there to vote on this yesterday. News Center 7's Mason Fletcher was there in person. He continues our team coverage.
You can hear the crowd applauding those landslide results. I tried to talk with one of the more than 200 people that were in favor of adding alcohol sales, but I couldn't find anyone. People are mostly happy that alcohol is out of the Darke County Fair.
Now, if we get any more news on this local story, we're going to bring it to you right here on your hometown station, 1290 and 95.7 WHIO.
Another cold front will be working its way through the valley. I'm Storm Center 7 meteorologist Britley Ritz. We'll talk about when and how much cooler we'll be.
We have a crash reported on State Route 4 at Stanley Avenue in Dayton in the construction area, and it's backing up traffic north and southbound. I would avoid driving near this area. With traffic every 10 minutes, I'm Jake Magnato, WHIO Triple Team Traffic.
I'm Larry Hansgen, and this is Miami Valley's Morning News.
And I'm Jeremy Ratliff. Well, Larry, happening just steps from our studios here. UD freshmen will move into their dorm rooms today.
It's just me, myself, and I on UD's campus. But when those University of Dayton freshmen get here later today, things will get busy here pretty quick.
Yeah, that is News Center 7's Xavier Hershevitz reporting. The AP says a man accused of throwing a sex toy at a WNBA game in New York earlier this month is from Dayton.
Charles Burgess was arrested Wednesday after cops say he threw the sex toy at the Dallas Wings New York Liberty game on August 5th. The object hit a 12-year-old girl, and Burgess is now being charged with 2 counts of assault.
That is WHIO's Ron Otto reporting. At least 3 arrests have been made in a string of disturbances or similar toys were tossed at WNBA games across the country. Yesterday, President Trump met with officers and troops who were sent to Washington as part of his declaration of a public safety emergency. Fox's Kevin Cork reports for us from Washington.
We have had some incredible results. Those are the words of President Trump, who took the opportunity to come here to Union Station and elsewhere around the city to say thank you to local law enforcement as well as National Guard service members, a reflection of appreciation amid the federal takeover here in the city and the intensified efforts to crack down on crime and violence. Meantime, a screaming man who tried to run from federal officers here in D.C. in a now viral video had previously been arrested for child sex crimes and had entered the U.S. illegally 3 times. He also ignored a final order of removal.
City officials have rejected the president's claims about crime being rampant in Washington and have pointed to crime data that suggests violent crime is down 27% this year. The White House claims 630 arrests have been made since President Trump's deployment of National Guard members. Meanwhile, the New York Court of Appeals has decided to throw out the $500 million fine against President Trump. The judges determined it was excessive, making it unconstitutional. On Fox's Hannity, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi praises this decision.
It was unbelievable. They made him put up that bond, unprecedented, unconstitutional, and it was not legal. And finally, the president is seeing justice.
Yeah, 4 of the 5 judges agree that New York Attorney General Letitia James had the authority to pursue the case. The one that dissented called it a witch hunt. You can't make this stuff up. A Wyoming man has been indicted by a grand jury on felony charges after a disturbing incident involving a wolf.
Authorities say Cody Roberts hit the animal with a snowmobile, taped its mouth shut, and brought it alive into a bar near the town of Daniel before later killing it. He'd previously only paid a $250 fine for illegal possession of wildlife, but after new evidence, a 12-person grand jury decided the case warranted more serious charges. If convicted, Roberts faces up to 2 years in prison and a $5,000 fine.
That is Fox's Ted Lindner reporting. WHIO News Time, 7:35.
This is a WHIO Red Alert traffic update.
And we got a problem on Route 4. Details from Jake McNaughton.
Yeah, Larry, we have both directions slow, north and southbound. This is due to a reported crash right at Stanley Avenue. I am looking at the camera here on northbound Route 4. I'm not seeing any traffic come northbound, so possibly have northbound Route 4 shut down. Southbound Route 4 is backed up to Harshman. Northbound's backed up to I-75. So wherever you're at, if you're about to use north or south,